as Donald Trump sets aflame his domestic policies and all of America, the financial markets are noticing. Already, the cryptocurrency market has shed over $1 trillion because they're disappointed by the fact that they thought they bought a president in Donald Trump, but he's not passing any of the laws or regulations that benefit him that they thought he would. And on top of that, you have the AI, artificial intelligence, technology driven parts of the financial market and Wall Street plummeting, hurtling to new lows because Donald Trump placed a bad bet on old legacy artificial intelligence because his tech bros told him to, instead of doing it on the cheap like the Chinese, who trolled Donald Trump 3 days after he announced with great fanfare, although he looked totally bored during the announcement, that he of this new entity that he was launching called Stargate with $500 billion. So excited. It sounds like a new spin-off of Star Trek. And then the Chinese announced that they did it for $6 million, a lot cheaper, a lot faster, and it shed over $1 trillion of tech fortunes as a result. What's Donald Trump doing to the financial markets? Does he know what he's doing to the financial markets? And how does it impact you, your pocketbook, and your kitchen table issues? I cover it all. One place, Popok Live. Let me switch gears and go to financial markets. It's important. Donald Trump ran on a platform, and I'm a businessman. I know what I'm doing. Follow me. Here we go. Okay. How you doing so far? Not great. First, he banked with much fanfare on this $500 billion Stargate. I don't know if people saw, I don't think we have the time to put up the clip. I don't know if people saw the clip of him announcing this. He looked so bored and so gassed after like the third day in office. I'm like, pace yourself, man. You got another 4 years minus 3 days left. How are you going to make it? I mean, he was announcing a $500 billion investment. I thought he was announcing bingo numbers, and a bingo card at some, assisted living facility. I mean, that's what it looked like. And so what was the purpose of it? Oh, that OpenAI, the chatbot people, chat GPT people, and Microsoft and Oracle and all these other groups are getting together, and SoftBank, and they're going to open up these huge data centers that need all this electrical power with all this chip development because AI is going to cure cancer. And it was sort of like that. They actually said that at one point. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. Of course, they didn't invite Elon Musk to the dance. I thought he was Mr. Technology. And not only did they not invite him, he then trolled Stargate about a day later and cut the legs out from under it and said, I've seen the balance sheets for some of these people, like OpenAI and Sam Altman. They don't have that money. I was like, maybe somebody should have sent the chief tech guy, the tech, the head of the technology and the website department for Donald Trump, a memo to have him invited. And maybe he should have stood there at the podium instead of pissing all over it the next day. But forget all of that. And forget TikTok. I know everyone's like, oh, TikTok. Forget to think deep, seek. That's what should keep you up at night. 3 days after Donald Trump announced Stargate, China effectively announced that there was a startup in China led by, of course, people supported by the Chinese government, who had invented a type of artificial intelligence that was better than what OpenAI is doing and what these other groups, the ones related to Meta and whatever, better, faster, and super cheap, like super, super cheap. Like they did on $6 million of an investment and a year of programming using old chips, old computer chips, because we had barred China from getting new chips, the bigger, faster ones. So they used the slower, dumber ones, but they figured out a way to program around it. And so they used this, they linked together the slow, dumb ones. This is my terminology. And they programmed around it with really sophisticated bespoke software. And the result was a super cheap do-it-yourself chatbot and AI at like 1/100th of the cost of what America is investing in. And the financial markets woke up and then tanked the Trump economy, meaning our economy, the world economy, and shed $3 trillion worth of market value in one day because they freaked out that China was going to eat the United States' lunch as the AI capital of the world and do it really cheap with really cheap and dumb parts. That's a problem. The reason is Donald Trump is not focused on making the right decisions about our economy because he's the most financially and ethically conflicted and corrupt president we've ever had occupy that office. There's no other way to put it. We never had a president enter office with like 1,000 limited liability companies in 12 different sectors of business, all, from cryptocurrency to memes to hotels to golf courses to Bibles to sneakers, to non-fungible tokens. Some people in my audience are like, what are we even talking about right now? Right. That's the point. They're all opportunities for foreign powers to buy a president and avoid the law that says you can't invest in a campaign. You don't have to invest in a campaign with Donald Trump. You just buy his fill in the blank. You stay in his hotel. You play golf. You invest with his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, in a development in Slovenia or Serbia or wherever else they're developing these days. And that's how you buy a president. And he's so conflicted because he hasn't put any of this in a blind trust. Sure, Don Jr. and Eric are supposed to be running things. Does anybody really believe that? Does anybody really believe the Fredo brothers are running it? The Godfather's not involved? Come on. So he's running all these companies. And so he's warped because he makes decisions, not for you and me. He makes decisions for his own pocketbook and his own bank account. And then if that wasn't bad enough, he which is exactly what our founding fathers were afraid of, and the ones that wrote the Federalist Papers, he brought in private interest groups and special interest groups to invest in him. He went to oil and gas and Big Fossil during a meeting in Mar-a-Lago during the campaign and said, give me $1 billion and you'll get a government that you can work with. And they didn't come up to $1 billion, but they gave him a couple $100 million. AI banked on him, the tech bros, as we call them. I think Ben on our channel calls them the broligarchs, right? They invested hundreds of millions of dollars to get Donald Trump elected in order to have regulation that would be favorable to them, not to the American people. Same thing with cryptocurrency, all excited. Donald Trump, they bought Donald Trump. And then they tanked the cryptocurrency market in the last week because Donald Trump didn't mention cryptocurrency not once during the inaugural address, and they were listening. And then he issued his executive order. They were like, okay, here comes the executive order. This is really going to help the industry. He's big on crypto. He has crypto. He bought crypto. He's selling crypto. What is he going to do for us? And Donald Trump said, I'm setting up a blue ribbon panel, and in about 6 months, they'll make a recommendation. And they were like, what? That's your pro crypto policy? Some sort of convoluted. I thought he was supposed to cut government red tape. I didn't realize he was supposed to make new government red tape. So he's going to create this giant morass, this giant sinkhole of bureaucrats, the head of the SEC, the head of the Department of Justice, the head of the Commerce Department, the head of IT of every. I'm like, are you kidding me? How are they going to get anything done in a weekly lunch meeting? And then make a report to me in 180 days. 180 days, that's like a lifetime in cryptocurrency. Fortunes are bought and sold during that period. And so that they didn't like that. And then they were like, well, maybe he'll announce the cryptocurrency national strategic reserve. Yeah, like the oil reserve. The government will buy trillions of dollars of cryptocurrency, and put it into a stock, a stockpile. And that'll make us all money. Let's do it. And he goes, instead of a reserve, he said, no, we're going to do not a reserve. We're going to do a little stockpile. And we're probably just going to start with about 20 billion that the Department of Justice and other agencies have obtained through civil forfeiture. And we already have that on our book. So we're just going to slide it over here. Maybe we'll add to it. I don't know. And the cryptocurrency market tanked, right? It hasn't yet recovered. And shed like $1 trillion of value. And then the China troll, where they waited for Donald Trump to announce, like this, they waited for him to announce Stargate, knowing through their spy network, they had already hacked into us. They knew that Stargate was coming, and they waited all of 72 hours to announce DeepSeek, which killed the market and all of the broligarchs' fortunes. They all shed billions and billions of dollars overnight. Because we're tied to the global economy. Popok Live. a new podcast Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. on the YouTube channel for Midas Touch. I don't pull any punches. I answer your questions. I don't blow smoke or sunshine, and I bring it to you with that brand of commentary and analysis I think you've come to expect from me, Michael Popok. I'm glad you're here on Legal AF. Take a minute on this channel that I curate and help it get to 500,000 in the next month. We can do it with only your help. So until my next Legal AF contribution and Popok Live, I'll see you next Tuesday. Michael Popok reporting. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.